Hi, Rachel.
She can't see us. She's not on yet. But we are though. So
We're on.
we're
Well, I
on.
was just acknowledging
So
Rachel, who's one
okay,
of our
let's
amazing partners.
okay, she's backstage. You weren't supposed to say that, but fine. We're not gonna go there. So
Oh my gosh.
how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. It's
Okay.
hump day,
Yes
Louise.
it is. Yes it
You
is.
guys, I was just complimenting. It's been a while. First of all, Louise, let's acknowledge that we've been away from the people for what has it been?
A couple
6 years?
months.
I mean, 6 months. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it's definitely
Since
been a
we
while.
we've graced these streets together on live.
For
But
sure.
I was complimenting your haircut, or your hair growth, I should say that. In the 3 years, almost 4 years I've known Luis, I've never seen his hair this long, and I was sharing with him how love. Why are you looking like? Never mind. You know what? Never mind.
Because
We'll keep that for the backstage
I
conversation.
feel
Do
like
not do
there's
it. Do not. You
sure.
guys, this may be why we have not gone live together enough. All
Probably.
right, let's get into it.
You didn't even give it 2 minutes and
Let's
you're
get
already
into
throwing
it.
shade.
It's fine. It's fine.
Wow. Okay.
Welcome to the weekly plug-in, everyone. We're
Man.
excited to be here.
Lots to share. Lots to share. Appreciate everyone joining us from different channels, from YouTube to Twitter to Facebook. I decided to give some Facebook love for once. We're not going to go there. Most people
We
on
are not.
don't know exactly what I do, like, and what I'm up to. So I decided to kind of let them in a little bit. So we definitely appreciate you guys joining us. And so we wanted to update you on a lot of things that we're doing over at We the Plug. And so one of the things that we're doing actually is, um, well, actually, I'll let Christiana. I'll let you take it away with that.
Well, we're okay. I got the baton. Thank you, Luis.
Yes, yes.
All right. So sorry about the shaker in the background. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and where I am, it's 5 o'clock. Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, there it is. Well, I'm excited to be back on the stage together because again, our absence was not in vain. We've been grinding behind the scenes, intensely grinding, boots on the ground. I mean, as soon as we got the green light that a vaccine was out there and COVID was lifting, we got back at it. Luis and I are in-person people. We are those conduits that like to come from behind the screens and be in your face. And unfortunately, that has not been fully open. It's kind of this hybrid space, but we've done our best to function in both worlds. We've been up to a lot. Both Luis and I have been working diligently to enhance resources and services for you all to ensure that you're getting the utmost, I'd say, strongest and most comprehensive access to partners in the startup space, in the innovation space, in the tech space. And Luis has been given this vision from the Most High. But he's had a vision for a while that he's shared with you all, and of course with me, as to why I came on as partner and COO, of really wanting to expand the work that we do outside of kind of the traditional norm and branch into an area where we know San Diego is thriving big time, and that's the bio, life science, blue tech, green space. And we noticed that the lack of representation for our fellow brothers and sisters of Pan-African, Latinx, um, even those that are in the immigrant community, the veterans community, the list goes on and on. And we recognized there was something we could do about that. And so Luis has been working diligently along with myself and others in the ecosystem to ensure that we were um, bringing forth opportunities to connect those in the space, the founders' space, into this world. So I will let Luis take it from there on those intentional partnerships that we have and who we're going to be bringing to the stage shortly.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing, this is kind of who's who. Basically, if you want to come up, let us know. You can let us know in the chat. We'll decide whether it's appropriate for you to come up or not. But first and foremost, we want to bring up Paul Robin, because he's been essential in what we are trying to do, particularly with UC San Diego. So we're definitely going to add Paul, and there's Paul that appears in our screen. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. So thank you for joining us. I know your schedule is ridiculous. And so just sharing a couple minutes with us. How are you doing this afternoon?
Pretty good. As you say, my schedule is ridiculous. So it's nice to take a bit of a break and talk to you guys. So I appreciate the invitation. Thanks.
We're happy to have you, Paul.
Yeah, so first question I wanted to ask you was, how long have you been, because I think I don't really ask you this, but how long have you been at UC San Diego?
Just a little over 5 years.
Yeah, and so were you in the same role for 5 years here at UC San Diego, or you were in different roles prior?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this role was created when I came onto the university, so it has changed over time, which is the whole idea of being in the innovation entrepreneurship space, right? You go with the flow and take what comes. So certainly changed over time, which is what keeps it interesting. But yeah, it's been the same title since I started. Absolutely.
Yeah, which walks right us into the next question, right? Which is, how have you seen the ecosystem locally in San Diego change over the time that you've been in UC San Diego? We could talk about it from the internal standpoint, but mostly from an external standpoint with San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, the ecosystem that I sort of flow in, or whatever. It's entrepreneurs, it's innovation, it's startup companies, right? I've never actually seen it as vibrant as it is now in San Diego in general. If you measure by any standard, the companies that are coming out, the number of companies, the amount of capital that's being invested, the success of the companies, the products that are coming on the market, everything through the life sciences, tech, wireless, etc. It's really terrific. So I would say that we're on a roll at the moment, and we should probably hop on the wave while we can, because nothing lasts forever, and this is a really good time to get in. Certainly from the university side, it's the same. I mean, over the last 5 years, we've basically doubled the number of companies that are coming off campus, doubled the number of students that are going through these entrepreneurship programs, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say it's a good time right now, for the ecosystem as a whole.
Great. I mean, I've seen it really change, even from the times that I've been around. Like, it was pretty much like, I wouldn't necessarily say it is in its infancy. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I would say
you're too young to have seen it in its infancy.
No. I definitely wouldn't say that. No, because some people would argue, depending on what cities you lived in prior to that, they would consider it infancy. So, like, if you came from a smaller town or a place where innovation and tech wasn't necessarily, there wasn't a huge community, then people would kind of say that. So, or if you come from a bigger one where it's like, okay, I come from the Valley, or I come from Austin, and I come here and it's like, okay, But I will say this, as far as the investment community, I know that the investment community has only been kind of, when it comes to big money, has been in life science and biotech. And the thing is that for a couple of years, I've been kind of saying, through events and, meetups, whatever, that we were trying to get capital outside of that realm. And so what have you seen from the investment side, or that of, that there's been a little bit of a change, and maybe there is some outside investment that are not only interested in life science or biotech?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, investment as a whole, this year in San Diego is looking like it's going to hit somewhere billion mark, 9 to 11 billion in there somewhere. Normally we pull in about 2.5, right? So as a whole, we are going to do about 4 times what we've ever done before. If you look how that's breaking down, at least as of last month, tech is almost equal to the life sciences. It's a little bit less. It's, somewhere around 40-45% of the total invested, if we're looking over this year. So yes, traditionally it was very much a life sciences town, but if you're just looking at the numbers this year, it's looking like the tech sector is almost going to be equal with life sciences. A lot of software companies coming out of that, a bunch of wireless companies and so on. So it's diversifying, which is a good thing, right? I think for the whole region.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of diversifying, would you care to share with us as far as like your take on, having more access to technology or the information to build companies locally in San Diego, particularly from, we have the Latinx community, we have the Pan-African community that have been left out of opportunities to build and scale. And so, what are some of the things that the university is trying to do as a whole to kind of change that and to be a part of, the inclusive mindset?
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that question. I mean, as a region, we're very diverse and hardly not inclusive. That's very, very bad grammar, right? But the goal is to become as inclusive as we are diverse, and we are falling way short of that. If you just look at the number of who are founders, who are submitting patents to the BTO from this region, all that kind of stuff, we fall well short. So for my and the chancellor's perspective, we need to do a lot of work on that. My two goals for this year to scale, which get more people involved in general, but also to really work on what we call inclusive innovation, which is try and extend the opportunities that many people in the county are lucky enough to be able to access to all of those people in the county and the region who are not able to access those opportunities. So, we've been doing a few things over the years. We have a Latinx incubator, we've done veterans incubators and so on, but I think we'll be able to really step it up now with our partnership with you guys and others across the county with this Build to Scale program that we're about to launch. I don't know if I'm taking your thunder here or not, but you led me into the question, right? So
no, go ahead. You got this, Paul.
Yeah.
So we have this resources now for 3 years to be able to actually put some real oomph behind it. I mean, what the university has is people and technologies, right? So we need to be able to sort of make that more accessible to across the county. And with this Build to Scale, the idea is that we find those partners in the community that are already very highly regarded in those communities we're trying to reach, such as yourselves, and to build this coalition where you guys can help us to understand how we can take what we have and apply it in a way that brings real value to those communities. How do we work with you to be able to do that? And that's really what I want to be able to do over the next 3 years, is to see, can we do something not incremental, something different, something that really moves the needle. I mean, you said it, Louise, in one of our recent calls. Can't remember exactly what you said, but it's we're not here to do incremental stuff. We're here to do something that really makes a difference across our region, and maybe we can develop the framework for that, or the template, or whatever you want to call it, over the next 3 years. Show that we can be massively successful and make it really sustainable. So that's where I want to be. That's why I'm really delighted that we're working with you guys, and we'll build this out and bring in all the community partners that we need to make a real difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate that answer, Paul, as well. I think folks in the community have wanted to do something different for a long time, but there wasn't people in the space to kind of execute that. And I think now there's a number of organizations, including us, that are boots to the ground and actually putting in the work to make things happen. And so we feel
we all have a piece of the puzzle, right? We all bring something different to this table. I don't think any of us can do it alone, not at the scale and at the difference that we want to make, kind of thing. So I think if we can bring the right people together and with the right mindset and the enthusiasm to actually do something big, I think we can really make a difference. And we understand that at the university too. We have resources, people, and so on. We don't have the answer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we need to partner up with you guys and others to really make this happen.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to putting our money where our mouth is too. And that's where we've been able to do with this partnership with you all with the Build to Scale is now we have the funding in order to help back the work that needs to be done. And like you said, it is going to take time to scale it. But I think this is part of why it's important for us to come to the forefront and do lives like this in order to make the community aware of who all is out there and what it is that we're doing and how they can be a part of it, because it is all hands on deck.
Yeah, yeah, right. And this is kind of, to me, it's like seed funding, right? Let's prove we can work together. Let's prove we can do this. Let's prove we can make a real difference. And that is what will make it sustainable. We'll be able to build off this, and this isn't just a 3-year effort. This is for the long haul.
It is, absolutely.
I mean, I've this is one of my passionate things, as you can see. We can't be competitive, not as a region, not as a nation, if we leave half or more of our society out of this innovation economy.
Especially our youth community.
Yeah. And speaking of that, Christiana, I want to say that, and I probably said this like a million times during our calls and course of conversations, but there's been a lot of times where people in San Diego have said, hey, we have a talent problem. The folks in the university, they're leaving to different cities in Austin and the Bay Area. And I always said, well, we don't have a talent problem. It's that we have a talent development problem. And what's happening is that we're starting on, basically the 9th grade, but we forget that we went through pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade. And so we have to have those foundational organizations and programming so that we can turn out the best and brightest engineers or scientists or, anyone in STEM for that matter. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it, that we have to build fundamental programming for us to really, have a true and successful and really sustainable, which is the more important word, ecosystem. And so that's kind of what we're striving for here as well. And I'll also, before you get up out of here, talk quickly about the U to everyone, because I definitely think that's going to be an integral part of this whole equation of what we're trying to do and reach the communities that we're trying to reach.
Yeah, right. So we actually have 2 developments that one opened last month, and the U will open in, I think it's actually March now. The U is a building that the university has built downtown, and it's intended to be a community development resource for the entire community, built around arts, creativity, design, innovation, etc. It's a community resource to get together, to work on this type of stuff and many other different types of programs that are going to benefit the community in general and improve the quality of life for everybody across the community, particularly reaching into more underserved areas, right? And just its location being downtown is going to give us reach, realistic reach that we didn't have before sitting way up in La Jolla. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think some of the work that we can do together is probably going to benefit from having that location and from being able to launch programs out of that. But the other one I just want to mention briefly, of course, is the Design and Innovation Building, which is on campus. And this is a focal point for the community as well to really accelerate innovation and design, help people in the community bring ideas through to impact, whether that's starting a company or however they want to have the impact, right? And bring all the resources together to do that type of activity as well in one place. And of course, the trolley, which opened last month, and it's connecting both of them. So I think between having the 2 resources and having the trolley between allows us to realistically reach communities we haven't reached before, but also to offer them the opportunity to access resources that we found it difficult to offer to them before as well. So it's kind of like the perfect storm here, but I think it's a really good time to be doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Definitely excited for the opportunities that we're going to build. And, I think it's time for a bit of a change. I think tech and innovation hasn't necessarily been the great focus in the communities that we serve here locally. And so bringing awareness is always the first step to doing that. And then after that, it's, really putting programming down to support these entrepreneurs so that they can be as successful as possible. And so that's kind of what we're striving for. And,
if I could just finish with one comment, you mentioned, tech and innovation and all that kind of stuff. it's entrepreneurship in a very, very broad way.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is about leadership and team building, creativity and critical thinking and being successful. I don't care what it is you do with that success, as long as you're successful and you're able to contribute, right? And that's the way we approach our education of our students as well. I mean, there's a lot of students that end up being very successful through these programs, never start a company, right? So, you know, I like to sort of say that entrepreneurship is much broader, enabling people to unlock the potential within themselves to be successful. That's really sort of where I'm at in terms of the community development piece as well.
Right. Well, thank you, Paul. I definitely appreciate you joining us. And Christiana, do you have any questions for Paul before we?
I just want to say, Paul, that we appreciate that you not only had the desire to push beyond what was already kind of created for the work that you're doing, but to see that there was opportunity to expand it. But you were willing to kind of risk along with the chancellor in taking a chance with the work that We the Plug is doing. And you saw the vision that we had and was, like I said, willing to put steam behind it, the university. And now we have this opportunity to really build something with the community at the helm with us, as opposed to we taking it and then they're following us. No, this is collaborative. We're doing it together. So I just want to acknowledge that you are a true partner. The university, the chancellor are true partners, and we're excited about building this with the community. And thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us.
No, you're welcome. I look forward to working with you guys. Now it's up to us not to mess it up, right?
Never that.
Okay. Good luck, guys. I'm going to take off.
Have a good one.
Bye, Paul.
And so thank you, Paul, for that. Appreciate him spending some time with us real quick. And so before we get up out of here, we definitely wouldn't be remiss about promoting our event for Friday, well, this Friday, actually, the Southern California Minority Entrepreneurship Summit. And it's going to be this Friday, starting at 8:30 in the morning. Our first session starts at 9:30. We're probably going to have some light coffee and breakfast, that kind of thing. And then we are going to get right into the sessions. There's going to be a lot of sessions on alternative ways to fund your business and also how to look at your business in a different mindset. And so me and Christiana will be doing sessions on that. You know, there are other sessions. There's going to be a session on marketing, a session on financing, learning how to fundraise, that kind of thing. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs are looking for different ways to fund their business. And so we're supplying different alternative options besides a venture capital option. So definitely should be exciting. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of networking, and then we'll call it a night. So Christiana, anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I really want people to understand why we're doing this. Why are we hosting an event? I think one of the things that is so crucial is that we could just host events, just to host events, but we don't want to do that. Louise and I have always been of the mindset that everything needs to yield an outcome that's going to kind of arm the person attending with the ability to go and implement that right away. At the minimum, you know, be able to pivot or build something out. At the maximum, be able to scale and generate revenue for the company. And I think one of the things that has pushed us to continue down this pathway, in spite of all that we've faced, and many of you all as well, is that building out this ecosystem at the level that we're building it out at requires all hands on deck. And we've stated it throughout this live, and we'll continue to do that. This event that we're hosting is a all hands on deck type of event. So if you are someone that has kind of been interested in being in the ecosystem, not really sure how to get in it, come out to our networking event. Luis just posted it. It's going to start at 5:30 at UC San Diego. It is free. If you do attend, we are putting COVID measurements. We're following UC San Diego and the governor's requirements for COVID. So you will have to wear a mask. You will need to show either your vaccine card or at minimum show a negative test. We're doing this in a safe environment. But again, it's important that if you're still in that ideation stage or you're not really sure if you really fit in the community, at minimum, come to the networking event. At minimum, at maximum, show up to the workshops. The workshops are during the day hours. Like he said, there's a variety of workshops that you can attend. We'll have representative from Google that will be training. We have representatives from UC San Diego that will be training. Luis and myself will be doing training. I myself will be focusing on grants. I'm a grant writer as part of my skill set in the federal and state sector. And I was part of the team that won this grant that we're actually utilizing to implement the program we are with UC San Diego. So again, we are definitely bringing to you all, I would say, information, resources, services that are really concrete that can help you. Like I said, at minimum, build, pivot, at maximum scale, and hopefully bring in revenue for your company. So I'll leave you with that. Show up this Friday, the 17th. We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there. And the another main point of having this seminar is also to take tangible items and really execute them, during the holiday season, when you're, not with your family or you're not, busy, to really execute for 2022. We don't want to just have a seminar just to kind of talk your ear off. Like, we definitely want to give you valuable information for you to execute as soon as the session finishes or when you get home. I'm all about giving people value and really giving tangible items so they can go execute. A lot of times with entrepreneurs, we're so information heavy. We go to this conference, this session, and, we get all this information and we don't execute because it's so much that we have to really take in. And it's like, okay, I'm stuck. So it's that, analysis by paralysis kind of situation. But what we're going to do is high level overview of different topics, maybe 3 to 5 things you can go do to execute it and keep it pushing. And then obviously us, Founders First, UC San Diego, we all have different programs for different stages of your company. And obviously we'll promote that and all that good stuff. But the primary focus is to really get the ball rolling for you as an entrepreneur to get your business to wherever level that you feel where it needs to be. So.
And one more thing before we go, let's give a shout out to our partners on this. It's not just UC San Diego, but it's also Founders First. And let's also give a shout out to our sponsors. Luis, you want to take it from there and wrap?
Yeah, definitely. How can I forget? Definitely special shout out to Dr. Sylvia Ma and She Invest. They're going to be sponsoring the networking event on Friday. And also shout out to the Center for Respectful Leadership. They're also a sponsor as well. And Shaping Freedom and Lassane Basquiat. She's a sponsor as well. So thank you for our sponsors for believing in us and being on, understanding our mission and vision and really supporting what we do with We the Plug. So definitely a special shout out and thank you to those people and those organizations. Anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Just stay tuned, plug in. Definitely follow our We the Plug site. Hi, Krista.
Shout out to Krista. Shout out to the woman Marquise.
Hi, Marquise.
Shout out. DeCarlos, what's up?
Hi, DeCarlos. Definitely, if you're not already following the We the Plug page, follow. We're constantly putting out content that will keep you up to date. And again, like I said, if you or someone you know are interested in starting a business, haven't started it yet, we're not telling you to do anything. But if you were to do something, you definitely want to plug in with We the Plug because we're definitely plugged in, tapped in. And we're constantly looking to partner, constantly looking to build with community folks on the front line as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. More to come.
All right, guys, y'all have a good one. And definitely check out the links. We'll put all the links in the chats. Check out the event. It's on Eventbrite. We'll be looking forward to seeing you there. if you're not at the sessions, you can come to the networking event as well. So
Bye. Bye,
you guys
Louise.
have a good one.